name is Ben Paik from Woby Design, and today I'm going to give you a tour of my 20-foot shipping container workshop. So before I take you inside and give you a tour, let me explain why I moved into a 20-foot shipping container. When I was looking for a new workspace, I was looking for something inexpensive, super close to my apartment, 24-hour access. And this is how I found a workshop. I'm renting it month to month. I only have one 20-foot shipping container. What's included in that rent is parking, Wi-Fi, electricity, 24-hour access. So how I'm getting power is pretty simple. It's coming from the main panel inside the warehouse, and it's coming into this spider box, and it leads to another spider box on the other side, which is located right underneath these stairs. This spider box connects into my shipping container. These shipping containers are located in a secure parking lot. We have a mechanic that's taking over this spot. We have another mechanic that's taking over this parking lot. So far, there's 8 different shipping containers, but the owners are gonna add 2 more to make it 10 different 20-foot shipping containers in this parking lot. Now, I know I look like I'm dripping with cash. I'm not. So when I planned on insulating this shipping container, I knew I wanted to spend the least amount of money as possible. That is the reason why I used rigid foam insulation. If you haven't seen that video. Also, some of you didn't understand why I had the electrical exposed like that, but I'm looking out for the future tenant. They don't have to struggle to find where the wires are, so I thought I was being nice here. The dimensions in this shop is about 19.5 feet long, 7.5 feet wide, 8.5 feet tall. Compared to the other units that doesn't have any insulation, this unit actually feels really nice and cool. And I also added that window fan so I could keep this workshop ventilated. Now that you have a brief understanding why I moved into a 20-foot shipping container, let me finally give you the tour that you deserve. It should be short, because it's really small. Okay, we're gonna jump right in. I'm gonna talk about all the tools that I have, starting from this wall. Let's talk about the jointer. I have the 6-inch jet jointer converted into 220 volt. Got it used for $200 and it's working perfectly great. What's good about the jointer, I have a lot of rough materials that I have to get at least one clean face so that I can reference off any other tools using the fence and any kind of gauges. This is a 12-inch planer. But now that I have a drum sander and I work with skateboards a lot more often, technically don't even need this in my shop. Now when it comes to lumber storage, any kind of hardwood that I get from lumberyard, I will have it stored on top of these shelves up to probably like 15 feet. I'm gonna have the glue ups with my bottle jack press stored here. Skateboard lumber is gonna be stored all across the top of this workshop. Let's talk about this bandsaw. This is the Laguna 1412. It has 1 3/4 horsepower, and you could also convert it to 220. I have the Resaw King blade, which is carbide tipped, and it really cuts everything like butter. I really like this saw. All the dials and adjustments are really easy to do. I would go check out Rockler because they have crazy sale going on every other month for this tool. Highly recommend it. Now, let's talk about the most important tool that I have in this shop. It's the Grizzly G0691, and it has 3 horsepower, and I use this table saw for every single project that I make. Got it as a gift from Chris Salamone from 4 Eyes Furniture. Thank you, Chris. It rips anything that I put in here. It's probably the most versatile tool that you could probably have, and so if you're starting out, I would highly recommend investing into getting a really good table saw for your first purchase. Now, since I didn't have a space for a router table, I installed this router lift into the extension wing, save more space. And underneath, I have a dust bucket, so it collects the majority of the dust that's coming off from this router lift. Underneath the table saw, I have several different offcuts from skateboards that I've been storing, and it's on mobile wheels as well, so I could move it when I need to. Up against this wall, I have all the table saw accessories. Up against this wall, I'm gonna make a nice big crosscut sled, and I'm gonna have it stored right over here, so I could always use it, store it anytime I want to. This side of the wall, I have just a simple storage, my wallet, my phone, glasses, safety mask, apron, work gloves, hearing protection, and my hat stand. Right over here, I have the drum sander. This is the 1632 from Supermax. This is my favorite tool. When it comes to sanding, I hate sanding, and this does it for me. And what's good about this, I could always use this quick lever adjustment, so I could go way down or way up. Another good thing about this drum sander, I could use this for my table saw as well as for my miter saw here. It's leveled with this table. The table saw is perfect for this application here in this shop. And behind the drum sander is going to be my bottle jack press number 1. My second bottle jack press is gonna be stored right underneath this outfeed table for the table saw. Here at the miter saw station, collects the majority of the dust that's coming off from this miter saw station. More of the bigger chips are gonna be stored in the dust right separator. More of the finer dust is going to be in the shop vac. I installed the eye socket auto switch. When I turn on this miter saw, the shop vac will be on for another 10 seconds. Nice, right? I have the drill press, so I could always scoot it over when I have to use it, and scoot it back. Charging station right over here. Variety of different hand power tools. Belt sander stored right over here. Some of you asked why I use Ryobi tools. The reason why I use Ryobi tools is because they're affordable, they're great entry-level tools, as well as they get the job done. After I align it, which you should watch this video, it gives me a dead-on 90-degree cuts. That's really what I need out of this miter saw. And instead of spending 5 times more for something that's a little bit more quiet or a little less vibration, I'd rather save that money and invest in a tool like the table saw or the band saw or the drum sander or even a new camera like that one. So that is the reason why I use these Ryobi hand tools. And these hand tools, I probably use it maybe 10% of my projects. If I didn't have it, it would be a lot more difficult, but having it just makes everything so much easier. Cool. Let's talk about my skateboard storage. I have it arranged this way. I could always pick it out easily, like this. I could always put it back easily. Broken skateboards up there as well. Now, some of you commented these skateboards look perfectly fine and I should just donate it to kids who can't afford it. They do look perfectly fine, but they're not. A lot of times they're gonna be chipped like this or even having these plies coming off. Trust me when I say this, the kids don't want these. I have the lathe here up against this wall, and I really like this lathe because it has a really long bed, so you could turn any kind of table legs, baseball bat if you wanted to. There's about 10 different speeds that you could use. Underneath this lathe, I have the wet grinder from Grizzly. What I'm planning on doing is to sharpen all my chisels, planer blade, lathe tools as well. Storage underneath for all my lathe accessories. Up against this wall, I'm gonna have all my lathe tools stored there. Now, moving on to this side of the wall, I used a similar storage system for all my skateboards. Right underneath, I have all my specialty clamps. Right under that is going to be my hand tool wall organizer. I installed these magnetic strips, so the tool that I use most frequently, I could always use it and put it back really easily. Nice, right? This is going to be my main workbench. This is about 6 feet long, 2 feet wide. It's on mobile casters, leveling feet. And if you haven't seen that video, it's gonna be right up there. Added this quick release bench vise. This is going to be my main storage area for anything that comes in. So I might want to keep this area open, and I could always rearrange things so that I could always have room for more. Only bad thing about this shop is I can't have a big workbench. Up against this wall, I have like a fine woodworking hand tool storage here. I have some nice chisels, some planes, spoke shave here as well. When I got into this shop, I wanted to get more into fine woodworking because I can't be making anything big. Hopefully I could get a better collection going on than what I got so far. This is going to be the Dust Right dust collection system from Rockler. It has the canister filter. This is connected to 30-gallon separator. So the majority of the bigger chips are going to be stored in the separator, or the fine dust will make its way through the filter and be in this bag. This dust collection runs off this remote. I also installed this quick change dust port for all my dust collection system. I could always switch it using this. And this expandable hose goes all the way to the other side of the workshop, this side as well. Lastly, I have these two doors here. I haven't done anything to it yet, but eventually if I start running out of space, I'm gonna add more shelves up against those doors. I also wanna add some kind of whiteboard so that I can start writing things down or start designing or use it for planning. So that should help with my workflow. And that's I think that's it.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story. And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Okay, before I end this video, I'm going to answer a few questions that I've been getting on Instagram about this workshop. The majority of these questions are asking me why I left my old shop, which was a lot bigger, and moved into such a smaller shop like this, which is a 20-foot shipping container workshop. Because my old shop was about 1 hour drive, one way, bumper to bumper LA traffic, it really motivated me less and less, and eventually got to the point where I didn't even want to go to the shop. And another thing, it was my parents' place, so any kind of noise that I was making, especially if I'm working after 8 or 9 p.m., they could hear everything and they're not gonna go to sleep. I wanted my own shop, which I could kind of call my own. So I needed to find a workshop that was 24-hour access, really close to my apartment. So that's why I moved out of my old shop into this 20-foot shipping container workshop. And it's been working out really great. I could glue something up, drive back home, get some lunch, come back here. Takes less than 10 minutes one way. So I'm saving a lot of time by moving here into this location. Another question that I've been getting a lot is, how do you feel about downsizing in terms of space? When it comes to space, I have plenty of space here. I just have to think one step ahead before I do anything inside this shop, which helps with planning. Only thing that I can't do is like make a bookshelf, river. I could make a river table if I wanted to. I could. Should I?
The best piece of advice I have for someone trying to succeed in the film industry or any creative space is, if you're doing what everyone else is doing, you're doing it wrong.
So that is it for this 20-foot shipping container workshop tour video. Hope you liked it. I'm really excited on what I'm going to be making out of this 20-foot shipping container workshop, and eventually I'll get to a point where I can start making them and start selling it as well. So stay tuned. If you haven't already, subscribe and hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever I post new videos. And I want to say special thanks to Rockler for providing me with all these nice tools so that I could have this ultimate workshop that I could work out of. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.
What is freedom? I think I stole this from Bob Dylan, but maybe I stole this from Woody Guthrie. Freedom for me is waking up in the morning and going to sleep at night, and in between doing exactly what I want to do. What's the secret to happiness? The secret to happiness is finding something you love and then doing that for the rest of your life.